Hey everyone, welcome back. And this is the part 2 of the basics of auto layout series. If you're coming directly to this video, then I would recommend you to check out the part 1 as well, where I've explained the basics and the basics of control and how can you apply auto layout directly to a frame. So if you want to check out those basic things, I would highly recommend you to go check it out as well. And in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to apply those principles that we have learned in the previous video, and we are going to create an Instagram feed card UI using the auto layout. So we're going to apply those principles here, and we want to build a responsive feed card. So in this case, this Instagram feed card using auto layout. So yeah, let's get started with this part. So guys, here we have our Instagram UI layout on the left. This is a screenshot that I've grabbed from the Instagram app, and I've removed the comment section from here just for the sake of simplicity. But rest of all the elements are here. And on the right, you're seeing a recreated UI that I have created based on this screenshot. So what I've done is I've taken all the elements that are here and recreated them in Figma. If I show you on the layers panel, they are not grouped or clubbed together. There's not even an artboard. They're just free moving elements. I've just created all the elements here. And the next step here is to strategically combine them together and add auto layouts to it. And before we do that, there's a small trick that I follow in my daily routine, in my daily design workflow, that makes clubbing things together in auto layout really simple. So let me first quickly explain you that, and post that we'll start clubbing things together and create this UI that you're seeing on the left by using these elements that are there on the right into a complete component. So in my daily design workflow, what I try to do is I follow a top to down approach. What that means is I first design all of my complex elements without the consideration of auto layout. So I design it freely as per my will, and post that I start grouping them together. I break down that UI into smaller components and see where I can logically club and add an auto layout. And then finally I create a component out of it. And this helps in one way, is that you don't get bogged down by the complexities of auto layout. So if you start building smaller elements and start applying auto layout to it, it could get a little bit tedious and overwhelming, and things could not work out in the end. So what I do is I just try to design everything as per my will, as per my design, and then I try to apply auto layout to it. So let's quickly see what that means, and I'll show you then example here. So this is the UI that you're seeing. That is the UI that we have recreated in Figma. So these are not clubbed together. These are just placed in this way. So let's see what are the logical groupings that are there in this UI. So first, immediately I can see there's one logical grouping of these three elements, which is the name, the dot, as well as the follow button. And based on the name, the entire thing can be pushed left or right. So if the name is longer, it will push the dot and the follow button to the right, and if it's smaller, then it will push it on the left, right? So these three together becomes the first contender for our auto layout. Now I always want my location to be below these three. So these two together can also become one auto layout. So it will contain the location as well as the previous grouping together. Now if you see here, we have the more icon on the right and the user image on the left. And on top, what we always want is that user image should be sticky to the left always, and the more icon should be sticky to the right, and the rest of the space in between should be filled by this two components, right? So the next logical grouping that I see is basically these three. So we can club these three together: the user image, the auto layout that we have created in between that contains again two more things, and the more button on the right. So great, this is our first complex auto layout. The second thing, if you see here, is the image, and the image does not have much to do. So we'll just leave it as it is. It does not require any grouping. The third contender that I see is these three icons. So we want a specific padding between these three icons. So these three icons can be clubbed together into an auto layout. And the next thing that can be clubbed together will be this group as well as this icon. So we always want these three to be sticky on the left, and the save button to be sticky on the right of the layout. So these two together can also be combined to create one bigger auto layout. So this will become our second complex auto layout. And the next thing that you see here is this like as well as this text. Now the text can grow vertically down, and the like button stays the same. So we can club these things together as well. and can create one more auto layout. This will become our third complex auto layout, and combining these 1, 2, 3 and the image together, we create our total layout. So there will be a bigger auto layout that will contain all these 3 different individual segments and will create our Instagram UI. So I hope you understood a little bit from this logical breakdown of the entire UI. Now let's quickly see how can we apply it using auto layouts. So let's start with our first logical grouping, which was the name, the dot and the follow button. So what I'll do is I'll just select these 3 together and apply an auto layout to it. So if you see on the right, you're not getting an option for an auto layout because there is no frame to apply an auto layout to. You will see Figma is not giving us the option to apply an auto layout in the right hand side panel, because if you see our layers panel, everything is free moving and we have not clubbed anything to a frame. Hence Figma is not letting us add a auto layout to it. But you can skip this step. You can just hit Shift and A on your keyboard and Figma will not only club all the elements together in a frame, but also apply an auto layout automatically to it. So you don't have to go to the extra step of creating a frame and adding elements to it. Hitting Shift and A will do it for you automatically. So let's hit Shift and A and it says auto layout added. So if you see on the left layers panel, there's an auto layout added with these 2 parallel symbols, which means an auto layout has been created and it contains these 3 elements. Now if you see the dot is now sticking to the left. Now in the previous video I have explained that you can fix this by selecting the alignment. So right now it's on top left, but we want it on the center. So you can do center here, but center left is the most appropriate choice because we want the name text, this known earth, to be sticky on the left. So let's do left center and it immediately fixes the components. Now let's see if it's working or not. If I just increase the text, it's just pushing everything on the right. So this works perfectly fine. So now our first frame is ready with an auto layout. Now the second thing is we want the location to be always below the first frame. So what we can do is we can just select these 2 together, the previous frame and the location, and again hit Shift A on our keyboard to add an auto layout. And this time, since they're stacked vertically, it's a vertical auto layout. So our second frame is also done. And what we also want is we can also select the frame 2 and we can fix the spacing between them. So if you want more spacing to be maintained all the time, you can do that as well. But for me, I think 0 spacing is fine. Great. So now our 2 auto layouts are completed. The third grouping was this one, the second frame and the third icon, the more icon. So we want all these 3 things to be together in one auto layout, where this image is sticky on the left and this is always sticky on the right, and the center frame is containing all the elements, all the space which is in between left. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll select this previous frame and this more icon together, and now let's hit Shift A to club them together into an auto layout. And now an auto layout has been created. So first of all, let's fix the basic things. So now we want everything to be aligned in the center. So we can come here and can choose the alignment to be the center. Perfect. Now if you see, there's an obvious problem here. What is happening as of now is we have these huge spaces in between, and what auto layout is trying to do here is that it's trying to evenly distribute all the elements across the available space of the frame. So the frame 3 is this big and it's trying to fill this space that is in between. So to fix this, what we can do is we can select the frame 3, and if you see, it has added 73 spacing in between. We don't want that. We can do 8 so that it just sticks to the left. And if you see, now we have fixed one of the problem, which is basically image is now next to the text and the spacing between them is 8. But it has also created one more problem, which is basically the more button is now again coming next to the text, whereas we want it to be sticky on the right. So to fix this, what we can do is the problem right now here is that we are not telling auto layout that which one is the stretchy element out of these 3 elements that it contains. So this one is fixed height and width. This one is fixed height and width, and the stretchy element that can stretch, or the variable element, the dynamic element, is basically the center one, right? So if you select the center one, and if you see the resizing property, it's hug content. And in the last video I have explained, hug content means that it will be as small as possible. So we don't want that. What we can do is we can come here and select fill container. So what fill container means is that it will always try to stretch and fill all the available space that is left in the frame. So if I do fill container and I'll try to resize the frame, you see that it's always sticking to the left, and now it's filling the entire width that is available to it. So if I try to resize this frame, if you see, the more icon is now sticking to the right, and the available space in between is always filled by this text element. So now here we have fixed our frame 3. So to quickly recap, what is happening here is that we have to tell auto layout that, hey, out of these elements, this is the stretchy or this is the dynamic one that can expand, and if in case there is more space available, you should allocate that space to this particular element. So these two are fixed, and this one is the one that is taking all the space, and it's trying to push all the other elements to the extreme left and right. So this is what is right now happening, maintaining that 8 dp that we have given to 8 pixels that we have given in the space between. So great. So now we have our first complex layout ready. Now let's see the second thing. So the second thing is the image. We don't want to do anything with the image for now. Let's leave it like that. Now the third grouping that we discussed was these 3 icons. So we'll select these 3 icons and we'll again hit Shift and A, and now they are into a auto layout, and the spacing between them is right now 15. We can tweak it here. We want, let's say we don't want 15, we want 12. So we can do that from here. Perfect. And the third thing that we need to group is this frame, this group with this save icon. So we'll select these two and we'll again hit Shift and A, right? And as soon as we do Shift and A, it's now in a frame. Now what we want is when we resize the frame, right now it's nothing is happening. What we want is when we resize the frame, this group should stick on the left and the save button should always stick on the right. So to do that, what we can do is we can come here, we can select the frame, and we again have to go to our alignment property, and right now it's set to packed. So packed is basically whatever is the space available, try to pack as closely as possible. But what we can do is we can do space between. So what it'll do is it'll always try to create more space in between if we select this alignment property. So let's quickly do that. And now if I resize the frame, if you see, it's always try to maintain spacing in between. The space in between is pushing this group on the left and this group to the extreme right. So if I resize it here, the button is always on the right, and if I resize it from here, this button is always on the left, right? So that's how we did it. To quickly recap this, in the alignment option, we have changed it from packed to space between, and what space between does is it try to maintain space, as much space as in between the elements, and try to push all the elements in the left and right. So the element for this frame is basically this group of 3 icons and this save button, right? So we have fixed that, and we also want, just for the sake, we also want it to be in the center. So we'll select the center option. Perfect. So now our second complex frame or auto layout is ready. The third one was basically this like as well as this text. So we'll club these two things together and hit Shift and A to create an auto layout. Now since they are vertically stacked, so auto layout already knows that, hey, you want to do it in the vertical direction. Awesome. So now we have 3 things ready. If I also check it here, okay. So now we have the three things ready. Now what we want is, we want to club all of these things together and see what's happening now. So let's select all the elements, all the frames and all the auto layouts that we have selected. So if you see, we have these auto layouts, top, this image, this group, and this text and the like option below. And let's hit Shift and A to create an auto layout of these, all the elements. So hitting Shift and A, you see it's now has created into an auto layout. And let's first of all, before we do anything, let's first of all add a fill to this frame, and I'll add a white fill. Perfect. So that we can see things better. Now there are obvious things that we need to fix, but overall the alignment looks good. Let's see if this is working or not. If I try to increase the text. Perfect. So if you see, it's going down and it's trying to fill the entire space, and the layout is automatically expanding, right? So that is working fine. The only issue that we are facing is the padding and spacing issues around it. So what we need to first do it, if we select the entire frame, we first of all want an entire padding around all the elements, which is common. So what we can do is we can come here and we can add a 12 padding. So if I do 12 padding, you see that it adds padding to everything and to the image as well. But if you remember, our image is full bleed. Okay, so then this option does not work for us because we want the image to be full bleed end to end. We don't want to have a padding. So then what we can do is we can just undo that change. This will not work for us. Okay, and what we need to do is we need to do it individually. So what we can do is we can come here for the first and we can select a padding of 12. Perfect. We can come to this group. So here let's do a custom padding actually. We'll do 12 and 12 on the left and right so that it matches the left and right boundary, and top and bottom we can just do away with 8. So this works for this. For this one we again want 12 on the left and right. So let's add 12 and we can also do 12 on the top. So this should work. Perfect. So now if you see, all the elements are now aligned, and what we have done is we have individually applied padding to these 3 ones and left the image as it is because we want the image to be full bleed. Now this looks perfect. The only thing I now see as an issue is that there's just too much spacing between the elements. So what I can do is I can come here. If I select the entire frame, the spacing between the element is set to 16. We don't want 16, we can do just 0. Right, so if we do 0, we see that this looks perfectly fine now. And now let's see if we resize how it looks like. So if you see, when we are resizing, nothing is happening to the inside elements, right? And this is not what we want. The reason this is happening is that we have not told auto layout what to do when a resizing happens. So if you know, we just did all this auto layout options, but we did not touch the resizing options. So we actually have not told auto layout what to do when you resize the frame. So let's quickly fix that. It's very simple to fix. So what we can do is we can come here and select the first frame, the top frame. And if you see, it's set to fixed width. We want that it should fill the available space that is given to it. So we can come here and in the horizontal direction, we can do fill container. Now if we do fill container, let's see what happens. Perfect. So the first top frame is now working as intended. The second thing is our image. So we don't want to do anything to this right now. The third thing is, again, if you see, is again set to fixed width. We also don't want it to be fixed width. We want it to be expand and collapse based on the size of the frame. So we'll do fill container in the horizontal direction again. Okay. So now if you see on the resizing what happens, perfect. So this frame and this frame is now fixed. It's responding as per the changes in the frame. Now the third one is this, which is our text, these two text, and they are also set to fixed width. So if I come here and I change it from fixed width to fill container, let's see what happens. So if I select the entire frame and try to resize it in the horizontal direction, it's working properly. But if I try to do that the same thing in the vertical direction, you see it's not working properly. So we want that the entire text should be always sticking to the bottom along with this icons, as well as this top frame should be sticking to the top, and the available space in between should be taken up by the image. So we want this to stick on the bottom, and that's not happening right now. And the reason is, if you remember the first frame, when we were building the first frame, is that we have not told the auto layout what to do and which is a stretchy element in this frame. So for the bigger frame, we have not told auto layout anything about which one is the frame that should stretch up when there is more space available. So what we need to do is we need to come here and we need to select our image. An image is now set to width, fixed width and fixed height. What we can do is we can come here and can select fill container in both an X and Y direction, right? So what will happen is, if there is a space available, the image will try to push all the elements up and down and try to cover up all those space that is available to it. So if I now resize the entire thing, let's see what happens. You see it's working perfectly. So it's the text is maintaining the horizontal direction, the text is also maintaining the vertical direction, and the image is trying to fill up all the space that is there in between. So guys, this was the thing. So just to recap, what we have done is, in the frame 7, that's the bigger frame, we have fixed first of all the paddings. We have fixed the issues of filling container. So we have told all the elements, all the child frames to take up all the space that is there in horizontal direction. And to make things sticky, these frames sticky on top and bottom, what we have made sure that we have told auto layout that, hey, image is the one that should be taking all the available space and other things should be sticking to the top and bottom. So we have given fill container for the image in top and bottom. So now if you see, our UI is almost ready. What we can do is, first of all, I want to give it some rounded corners. So we are almost done, guys. There's nothing more that we need to do. So first of all, what I need to do is I'll just come here and I'll first of all give it a border radius, something like 12, so that it looks polished. So now let's compare it with the Instagram UI that we have. If I just bring it here, and if you see, it almost looks the same. There's just only one difference, that we want a dark theme. So what I can do is I'll come here and I'll select my black colors to go from black to white, and the entire frame now I can select as a fill of black. And now it looks exactly like the Instagram UI. And what we can also do is we can also convert this into a frame. So we can, into a component. We can come here and select the component option on top. And what will happen is it will create a component out of this frame that we have built in auto layout. And I can name it Instacard. Okay. And now it will be available in our assets panel. If you see, Instacard is now available in the assets panel. And now anyone can drag it outside, and it'll always maintain all the properties of auto layout that you have built. So this video might seem intimidating for some of you, so I would highly recommend you to slow down the video, pause it wherever you need, and if you're still stuck into some problem, you should always comment in the section below. I'll try to resolve it there. If you want instant answers, you can also join my Discord community. The link will be in the description. And you can just keep on trying. You will always understand this more when you try to experiment with it. You'll try to practice it. So that's my suggestion. And this was our first step into auto layout and our first step into understanding of responsive design. In the next videos as well, I'll also explain more examples of auto layout. So I hope by then you have practiced more on auto layout. And yeah, this was it. So if you like the video, consider subscribing and sharing with others. And I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.